So we're going to get started right away because I have a couple announcements and, we want to keep these short and sweet and respect your time. So welcome to our Monday night team call. Tonight is guest speaker night, and I actually have my husband, AJ, who's going to lead our call here in a minute. But before that, I just have a couple quick announcements. So the first one is that our May New Coach Apprenticeship group is starting up on Monday. So I actually set up the group already. So if you'd like to be added into it, or if you have any coaches who need to be added into it, it's on our team page. Success Club 5 or 10 can still happen. We still have 4 days left in the month. I haven't hit my goal yet, but I'm still pushing hard. Just keep inviting people. Summer is around the corner, so go through that list of people you've talked to in the past and just check in with them, follow up. I personally am not ready for summer, so I'm sure there's other people like me that could use that extra accountability. So make sure you reach out to everybody and keep inviting. And the last thing is we are going to move our Monday night calls back to 8 p.m. for all of our East Coast people. 8:30 is a little late. We tried it for the month of April, and it's just been a little late. So we're going to have our new May schedule out soon. We're going to work on that on Wednesday, and then I will get that to everybody. But I'm going to let AJ take it away soon. So I really wanted him to speak on Snapchat now. He's snapping right now, I think. Now that he's really gotten a hang of it, some days he gets 200 views on his videos. And then the other night we went on a date, and on the way I was telling him how I felt like I was running out of content and things to talk about. And just within talking to him for 5 to 10 minutes, he gave me like a million ideas on what my content should be about. And so I really want him to share that with you as well. So I'm going to let him take it away.
Cool. Well, thank you. And I thought I would start with just some random facts about Snapchat. There are over 100 million daily users on Snapchat every day. That's not total registered users. That's people that log on and interact with the app. And 65% or 65 million of those people publicly create content and post it. So over half of the community is creating content and sharing it with the people that they're following and connecting with. So it's a very highly interactive group. 18% of all people in the US that use social media are on Snapchat. So about 1 in 5 people use Snapchat. 8 billion videos are created every single day. 73% of users are millennials. I think that's a big difference versus, maybe Facebook. Facebook is aging up. The younger users are leaving the platform and moving to Instagram. And the younger users are going to Instagram and Snapchat. And as they adapt it, they are teaching their parents and friends, and then that's kind of aging it up. So I think Snapchat's really huge. I'm having a lot of fun. One thing I always like to share and teach people, so this here is called a snap code, and this is basically a QR code for your account. So you can screenshot this or take a picture of this, and when you go to add friend by snap code, this will directly link you to my account. The other thing that's kind of cool about it, let's see if I can flatten it out, is you can also just take your phone, you can open the app to where you would take a picture or a video, you can point it at the QR code and just hold your finger on the screen, and it will automatically add a friend. So that's just like a personal thing for me. I'm always trying to educate people about this snap code or the QR code, because as you adopt it, you can put it on your websites and Facebook links and other things. And this is a great way to help drive traffic to your Snapchat profile, if you will. So why I like Snapchat. So I'm not going to really go into how to use Snapchat. There's a lot of really great tutorials on YouTube. Or you can use this snap code and just ask me directly for help, and I can help walk you through it. But what I think is really cool about Snapchat is it's basically like your daily video log, or your vlog as people call it, and you're creating your own reality show. So people use it in a lot of different ways. From my personal experience, the one thing you should never do is take your phone and put it right in front of your face and just talk to it, snap after snap after snap. Like, nobody listens to it. Nobody cares. Snapchat is not the right place for it. If you really want to stand in front of your phone or a screen and educate, you should be doing it on Facebook Live, Periscope. Snapchat is not the place for it. These are 10-second clips, and people are looking for things that are interesting, exciting. They like movement. So one thing you'll see when I do all my snaps is if I talk and I have to do a series of, kind of talking snaps, I will always move around my house. I'll stand in front of a different piece of artwork. I'll change which side of the face I hold my phone on. So again, when the person looks at it, something's always changing and moving around because so many people stand there and for 20 things in a row, they just start talking. And if you tap the screen, you can skip them. And so I just find myself skip. And then you get annoyed and then you just like leave them and move on to the next person. So number one rule, just don't stare and talk into the phone and you're going to do great. So when you're on Snapchat, right, so what do you share? You don't stand there and talk, right? You have to share something. And my advice is try to educate people with anything, and I literally mean anything that you are educated about and passionate about. Don't think that to promote your Beachbody business that you have to talk about fitness and Beachbody. Like, that could be one of the most minimal things that you talk about. For me, I talk about food and food science. I have a food science degree. That's what I went to college for. So my job was I created new food ingredients. And I have all these like random, bizarre food science, food knowledge facts. So every day I just share super random pieces of knowledge. So if you watch my story tonight, at the end of the night tonight, I talked about searing a steak, and you have to let the steak rest, and that helps the protein. You blot the outside of it so it sears better. This isn't like mind-blowing information that's changing people's lives. This is like dumb stuff that's kicking around in my head every single day. And so now I have a place just to kind of share it. And it's amazing the people that are like, holy cow, I never knew it. People that do know it and don't care, they don't watch you and they move on and they find somebody else. And for me, like, that's fine. And so my advice for you is if you're interested in knitting, you do shirts, you're into yoga, you make clothing for cats, like whatever it is, like that's what we should talk about. There's a guy in Boston who owns a fish store. And I swear to God, he's one of my favorite people to watch because all this guy talks about are fish and building like the craziest fish tanks. And he's so knowledgeable and passionate, like you just can't help but like get sucked in to what this guy is talking about. So I think for you guys and for people who are maybe trying to discover their brand, or sometimes, Allison and I discuss about what is Allison's brand. Like my advice is go on to Snapchat and just be 100% yourself, but like share something that you know, and it can be anything. And then along the way, people really build connections because as you're out there, you're telling your story. And when people communicate, instead of on Facebook or Twitter where all responses are publicly shown so the whole world can see it, and I think that attracts like trolls and people just being jerks and posting stuff to get a response. Every response on Snapchat is direct one-on-one to you. So nobody's trying to impress anybody. It's all just you and them. So when you're sharing your cat scarf knitting things with other people who just love buying scarves for their cats, then they see you working out. They're like, hey, I think I need to work out too. Like, hey, what are you doing? Because now you've connected over knitting scarves for cats, and now you become friends. And hey, yeah, you want to do this with me too? We can do it together. So for me, that's what I have found with my Snapchat and kind of my journey. So kind of starting like how I got involved in this and this is a learning thing. It's a new platform. It's constantly changing. So don't be fooled and don't pay money for anybody claiming to be an expert in Snapchat and these trainings. Like these people don't know. They're making this all up. I follow these same people. Like there's people out there with huge accounts that I swear they've stolen in like the picture moving around in front of pictures. they've straight up stolen that from me in watching my account, right? Like it's not that big of a community. People think that they've cracked these magical codes on business. Like, no, the answer is you just make friends, and you make friends by sharing something interesting that you like that's cool about yourself. So how did I start? Like January 1, I had 0 followers and no account at all. Gary Vaynerchuk was big on Snapchat and was like, this is the next Facebook. Everybody needs to get on Snapchat. Like, Gary Vee just yelled it from the mountaintops. So I started out zero views, 0 friends, and I sent Gary Vee a message, and by just like luck, he screenshotted his messages, and on Twitter, he posted that screenshot with my name right in the middle and to his 2 million followers. So like right then and there, like my account blew up. I had all these random Gary Vee followers following me, and it was like, I was like joking with Allison. It's like, this is my 8 Mile moment. Like, I got to step up and I got to make something of myself. And what are you going to do with this opportunity? And so I was doing no posting. I had nothing. So I'm like, all right, I got to figure something out. So I'm going to talk about the only thing that I'm confident that I know about is food, because I can talk about food all day to anybody nonstop. So I talked about food, and then I went from 0 to 20 views, and that took me like a month. And all I did every day was like talk and create content. And then it got a little frustrating. Then I created a video about sugar and sugar in soda and the difference of how your body breaks down sugar versus high fructose corn syrup. And again, right, like this was all in my head. I didn't do anything special, but it just caught on, and it became like mini viral within my 20 viewer community. And my views went from 20 to 60. So that was like 2 months, and I went to 60. I just keep doing my same thing. I do coffee posts every single morning to start my day. I've been doing it for like 4 months. I mean, this is not like a magic code. It's just consistency. Today I now get over 200 views. My highest was 250. Constantly getting shout outs, and a lot of these views are just people saying, hey, you need to go check AJ out. He's doing some cool stuff over there. I don't ask people for shout outs. I don't do the whole shout out for shout out thing. Like, I consider my account extremely organic, and it's just like, if people dig what I'm doing and they want to be a part of it, like they share it and they get involved. So yeah, now I'm like in the low 200s, and I've created a book. So now I'm like, okay, I have these viewers. I'm getting messages from people saying, I learn more from you than the Food Network. I don't watch the Food Network anymore. I just watch what you're doing. Like, this is amazing. I tell my friends. Like, people are telling their friends now. So I created this book. I'm selling it for $5.99. It's very simple, straightforward. But again, it's just like, it's all the food science stuff that I know. I just slammed it in a little book. And today I sold my first book. And I did it on Snapchat. I just said, hey buddies, like, created my book. It's $6. I talk to you people all day, every day about food. Like, anybody want this book? It's more about what I'm talking about. And the guy who bought it was super cool. And I was asking, he was giving me some advice. He found a couple problems with my website. So, I mean, really cool guy. And you'll find a lot as you engage with the Snapchat community. Like, you meet really, really cool people that want to help. So he was helping with my site after he bought the book. And I was asking about shipping and costing and whatnot. He said, hey, I didn't care what you charged for your book. It was $6, man. Like, you have given me well beyond $6 worth of value when I watch your videos about smoking meat, and I did a series on chocolate. He's like, man, that's like, the book is a bonus. I'm just giving you the $6 for what you do. And so, like, that's really cool. But that, like, it reiterates that if you want to be a successful coach or Beachbody, sell books, sell scarves to kittens, right? Like, it doesn't matter what you talk about. It's about the connections that you make with people. And as you grow those friendships, like, they just want to be with you. They want to hang out with you. They want to do what you're doing. They want to just be a part of what you are doing. So, you know, my big advice about Snapchat, and as I kind of wrap it up, is, like, Snapchat is about relationships, and it's about talking to people. So when you're on it, like, you got to be you, but don't be you talking to the phone all day. Like, I'm going to just keep saying, like, please don't do that, but be yourself, share what you think is cool, and people who think what you think is cool will find you. And, you know, if you guys want to grow your accounts and be a little bit more strategic about it, I can help you with some tips about how to grow your accounts. You know, there's some things that you need to do to help with that. But when you share yourself, get to know people, have like sincere conversations, get to know them, ask them questions. I've made a lot of friends. I met one guy for dinner the other night that I met on Snapchat. It was super weird, like I was going on a blind date or something. He was cool, but it was weird. But, you know, like, whatever. Like, I made friends, right? Like, I think that's what this whole thing is about. And, you know, maybe he buys a book, right? You know, maybe he buys and tells 10 friends and they buy a book. They buy books. So I hear a lot that people view Snapchat like television at the end of the night. And I even find that that's what Allison and I do. Instead of watching TV at the end of the night, people are sitting down and watching stories. And they're watching the full day's content that you create. And so when you create good content and a reason for people to come back, and again, it doesn't matter what you're talking about, as long as you're being informative and genuine, people lay down in their bed and you're the last thing that they listen to every single night. And they tell me that all the time. Like, every day somebody's like, you're the last thing I watch at night. I don't watch TV anymore. I just watch this kind of stuff from you. So it's a powerful platform. These views are important. You know, like 200 views may not sound like a lot, but if you think about every single thing I say on Snapchat is seen by at least 200 people. And I would say 30% of those people watch it every single day. Like, I can just like name names, like dependable, this guy's going to watch my story every single day. Like, you become a part of their home. And I don't think that Snapchat, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, well, not Snapchat, obviously, but all these other ones, like, nobody else is doing that and has that type of attention grab in front of a screen. So I think that it's a little bit like the Wild West. The platform is growing. They just got a huge $300 million investment, so they're trying to grow the app. It's early in the stages, so you got to give it time. But I think it's a great place to have fun, be yourself, goof around. You know, like Facebook, you kind of got to be structured so you don't, you know, screw up your affinity in your message. But like Snapchat, like, go be yourself, have fun, like, make some friends, share your story, like, whatever your hobbies, whatever you can inform, share. But like, share your fitness story, share your financial story, share your beach body, your work. Like, you know, you can tie it in subtly, but like, just be you. Share yourself. And I think that Snapchat has just a tremendous potential for people to create connections, grow your business, and you know, meet some cool people. So kind of a long rant, but I'm super all about this platform, growing really quickly. Every day it's different. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but I dig it.
We got some questions.
All right, let's do it.
How many friends do you have on Snapchat?
You know, it doesn't track friends like it tracks friends on Facebook. It tracks friends I track it as views. And so, to be honest, the more friends I can add, the higher probability that people can see my content. So a little bit, you're just trying to mass people right now on Snapchat so you can just kind of get those views up. However, kind of like all platforms, you don't want garbage eyeballs on your account that are never going to buy stuff, or they're creepers, or, you know, whatever the deal is. So you want to add people to increase those views, but I would just say that, you know, my benchmark is I have about 200 to 250 views, which I would say is, for someone who has zero social media like presence anywhere else, that's a pretty high number. I would say most people are 20 to 60. You know, I think that's a pretty average number. If you're at 60 views, you're probably on the high end of the normal. And I would say anything 100 plus, that's, you either have a huge social media following that you've gotten to follow you on a Snapchat, or you've built a pretty solid Snapchat following. A lot of people just bring it over.
So another thing is, how much content is good? Do you send a lot of direct snaps? That's
good. That's a really good question. So yes, there is too much content. There are some people that just snap nonstop all day, and people don't want to watch, like, none of us are that interesting. Like, let's just be real. Nobody cares that much about what we do every second, all day, every day. So we don't need to share that every day. I find when I do my stories, unless I'm cooking a really long dinner where I'm showing lots of parts, I try to do one set. This is kind of weird, right? One segment an hour, and a segment should be 1 to 3 snaps, right? So if that's kind of, so the way Snapchat works is there's no filter for when people start watching the story. So whoever posted the newest post gets to go on top. And then as more people post after you, they go above you and they just knock you down the list, right? So if you're trying to grow views and grow eyeballs, I have found that just doing like one post every hour kind of keeps refreshing you to the top of people's list. And then if you do it between the hours of, like I'll post at 7 and 8 a.m., maybe a post at noon. And then because I do a lot of food and cooking, I'll post a lot between 5 and like 10 p.m. But it's always like 1 or 2 posts at a time. Or if I'm going to explain something and I have to talk and do like a little bit of explanation, I try to do that in no more than 3 snaps or 3 posts. Again, just trying to keep that whole content short. So I don't really like count all of them up per se, but I would say if you can't show or say what you're trying to say in 3 snaps, you need to space that out over a little bit of time so you don't just like slam people with too much content. And it keeps you slowly going back to the top of the list, which will help more people watch your content.
What about your direct snaps?
Oh yeah, direct snap. So
your videos, how do you send those?
Yeah, so I create my content all day like that, where it kind of filters, 1 post every hour. Then as people comment on those posts, at the bottom of the screen, you kind of like take your finger and you scroll from the bottom up on the screen, and then they send me like a little message. Sometimes I'll message them back. On the bar, if you hold down the little video camera, it creates just a very small circle kind of around your face, and it will record a 10-second video. And so a lot of times I will verbally just send my response back in a video or 2 videos, and that's how I will dialogue with people. And something interesting kind of happens there too is they start with a little text thing. I send them back a video, which is my face. They see my eyes. Now we're talking. They send me back a video in the same fashion. And now you're like having like this video face-to-face where now you're having this human connection where you're talking back and forth. And it's interesting. And if you hold, I think there's a microphone on the other side, it just sends a voice memo. And again, if I send a voice memo, they send a voice memo back. If I send a video, they send a video back. So when you start meeting these people, you can start with some typing. It's, like low risk, not too invasive. And now you can kind of hold those buttons, and now you can send video messages back and forth to each other and, kind of create a little bit more of that human connection.
What about
best way to learn how Snapchat works? Yeah, so I definitely think that YouTube is a great place to learn about Snapchat. You should download the app, add me with the snap code, and screw around with it. Send me messages, send me questions, try to post stuff, do my best to answer back and help you out with all your questions. But again, because Snapchat is so new and all these people are trying to figure out how they can be the best or the experts on Snapchat, there's lots of people creating content that are teaching you how to use it, claiming to be the best. So I think there's just a lot of very current information out there. There is an account called Snap Vice, V-I-C-E, all one word, Snap Vice. They do tips and tricks about how to, there's like some secrets and hidden things and like little quirks with the app. They show you how to use a lot of that. So some of the advanced features where you'll see people put 2 filters on, or maybe there's colors that you don't see that they have, creating extra text and things like that. I think once a week, maybe they do a story and they have an email list that kind of keeps people up to date with what some of those features and kind of things are. But yeah, you can learn a ton on YouTube in like 10 minutes. For
Cool.
sure.
Any other questions? Oh yeah, Emily added you.
Nice. And we'll follow you all back. Oh, so the other thing with adding people. So when you're adding friends on Snapchat, in order for them to swipe from the bottom up and send you a direct message, you have to both be friends with each other. So now, again, this is kind of what you're comfortable with, what you feel like sharing. But in my opinion, if you're really going to grow this account and form relationships, every single person that adds you, you should friend them back and give it a shot. If they're weird, I get people that just send me the weird random pictures. They're not inappropriate or anything. They're just weird. Like, here's a picture of like my pet turtle, or I don't know. I mean, who knows, right? And if they, you should add them. If they do that too many times and they get annoying, I just block them, right? It's very simple to block people on this app. If they post weird stuff on their stories that you don't like, block them, get rid of them. Like, you can kind of cleanse those friends out. But if you really want to try to build that engagement, you need two-way dialogue, and that happens the fastest when you're both friends and you swipe from the bottom of the screen up to start the chat. So pretty sweet.
I wanted to say something about that.
Allison's adding people.
So adding Katie. So Ghost Codes is an app separate.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to find people. So all these people are adding me now because I put in there that I'm in health and fitness. And so you can like categorize what you're doing and then people can find you. But it's a separate app, so not related to it is, but it isn't.
So within Snapchat, there's no way to just organically search and try to find people, right? So you can't go in there and see like, oh, AJ Thornton, maybe I'm going to find him. Like, Snapchat doesn't have that feature yet. You would have to know that my username is Rollout925. So you got to know everybody who you add there. Somebody created for the iPhone, just the iOS, a second app called Ghost Codes. It's like a purple little ghost kind of thing that looks similar to this, but it's in purple. There, you go in there and you create a profile where you upload your Snap code and you put in interests and some hobbies and things that you're interested in. And now it puts you in this massive database where people can go in and add you. And you can go through and find accounts and either download their Snap code, or I have a work phone, so I have two phones. So I hold one up to the other and kind of Snap code them. Super great place to find people. My only complaint about Ghost Codes, it was cool when it started. Now it's like an explosion, is people are just trying to hack kind of the accounts and these growth accounts. And so I get messages every day saying, hey, I hearted you on Ghost Code. Can you return the favor? And like, they ask me that all the time. And I used to do it. And then I used to respond and say like, yeah, I'll try. Now I just ignore the message and don't even write back. Like, I could care less. And the hearts keep coming and my account keeps growing and I keep finding more followers. So it's been a great place for me to grow my account, but like, there's a lot of people that are just kind of being a little bit spammy with it to try to grow their accounts. So little pro and con with Ghost Codes.
You can edit people's names. So if you want to keep track of like all your Beachbody friends, I'm putting blue hearts by your name. Or you can put a fire logo or whatever. AJ puts fire, I think, by album. So when you are accepting all these new people, you have an easy way to just scroll through and see who you want to look at.
Yep. So to do that, you just hold your finger down over their name. When they're in the contact list, you'll see all the names listed one after another. You just hold your finger down on it. Their name pops up. And there is an option that just says edit name. You hit that.
It's a little cog wheel on the right.
Yeah. And then you can change your name to anything you want.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Good way.
And then just some of the things that AJ told me to do videos on and content on, just to give you ideas of how, like he was saying, it doesn't have to be just fitness or workout moves, because I am a personal trainer, but I'm not a cook. Like Sarah has these really good cooking videos, but you're not going to see those from me. So just ideas like I like workout pants, so where do I get them from? I've been buying a lot of makeup lately, so what kind and why do I like it? I'm a dancer, so more dance videos. Personal development, like talk about what you're reading with your audience and how that spoke to you. Do you use Apple computers and iPhones? Are you organized? Quick meals. For me, like how to dress when you're muscular and curvy. Don't look like a monster. Just like eating at restaurants, like how you still eat healthy. Just basically your life and things that you're passionate about. Just talk about that. Don't don't try to be somebody else when you're on Snapchat or on social media, period.
I post about my Jordan shoe collection. I wear my Jordan t-shirts every day. I roll out of bed. I'm like squinty eyed. My hair's all screwed up. You can tell my voice. Like I literally just roll out of bed, but I'm just, I just share like me and my shoes. And every day people are like, people are like, hey, I love those shoes. Where'd you get those shoes? I got mine. They're showing me their Jordans. Like it really does not matter what you post as long as it's what you're about.
Yeah, I had a friend from grade school message me asking about AJ's shoes because her husband wears a size 13 and also collects Jordans and wanted the same case that or like the shoe rack that he had. So like you never know. So many people watch and really want to connect. And I'm still working on getting better. My snaps are really terrible, but I have like
it's
50
hard.
views, and it is hard. And so if you're looking for another format outside of Facebook, if you're not into Instagram or Twitter, like I really think this is a good platform because it kind of prepares you to be better at, Facebook Live or YouTube because you are doing those little videos. And so you get more comfortable being in front of a camera and looking at the camera when you talk. So yeah. Any other questions before we go? Or any comments?
No. I made a checklist so I wouldn't forget anything.
These are his slides. Cool. Where did you get your shirt from?
I had the shirt made. So I screenshotted my snap code on my phone. Then I cropped it using one of the Instagram cropping tools that I used to use. Then I emailed that to myself, went on uberprint.com and dropped this in the shirt. I wore this shirt. Well, I had like 6 of these made. I wore this shirt every single day on the Beachbody cruise. As like an experiment, I snapped the whole thing. Oh yeah, it definitely works. That's what I was saying. Like if you point your phone at the screen right now, you can just become my friend.
I have to unmute myself and say that is ingenuity right there.
Yes, thank you. So
I love it.
The problem with the shirt is people don't know what as a whole, people don't know what snap codes are yet. So I got new friends and followers on the boat because they're like, hey, that's a cool shirt. But then I'm like, yeah, well, you can add me from this shirt. And then it was just like mind blown. And then I explained how they would do it. Then they would add me.
And they'd be creeping on us like, I see you, AJ.
Yeah, I would get pictures from people like, I see
we were at the pool and someone was like, AJ, there you are.
That was hilarious. So that's why I started this call with like, this is what a snap code is. I am educating everybody who listens to this because this is so cool. No other social media platform has a picture you can put on anything you want. You can put it on a business card. You can put it on a hat. You can put it on paper. You can put it on your website. It can be your logo. This is my logo. If you go to my website, the little icon in the little tab corner, it's this logo. I put this as my logo over everything. I'm not paying for a logo. I'm just using this because then it just adds people to my account. And you'll see people like get fancy and insert like art and stuff inside the white ghost or whatever like that. But like, I just leave it like this. Like for me, I'm just using this and like.
What about copyright issues?
I don't think that there's a copy. I don't think so. I looked on their website because I put it as like the whole back cover to my book, and I looked on their website. Nowhere do they say snap code with the trademark written after the snap code. There's no copyright. It doesn't say you can't use the snap code. I figure it's a win-win for everybody, right? It's advertising for Snapchat. I'm not using it like in a bad way. I'm using it to promote my account. You could put a hyperlink. I mean, this is effectively a hyperlink, right? So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Let them sue me.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Because it's going to be under my business eventually.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty crazy. And the one thing on the cruise that was funny too is a lot of people didn't have internet or access to their phone.
Yeah.
So we're like, that was kind of a bust.
So I'm gonna try again at Summit. But I think for the Summit shirts, I'm gonna have the snap code a little bit smaller, but I'm gonna write directions like open Snapchat, point camera, hold finger on screen, now we're friends. Like just to make it, because I think too they're like weird about being like a creeper and like pointing a camera at you, and it's like, no, dude, like I made this shirt, obviously, like let's be friends on Snapchat. So
And you're friends with the lady at the Hertz rental car.
Yeah, I made a friends with the rental car lady 2 weeks ago at the airport. Like, I'm friends with everybody. She screenshotted my Jordans. Like, she loved the shoes. You never know. Maybe she buys a cookbook. Just saying.
This is so awesome.
And there's one thing. So today, Adrian and I were talking about his cookbook because he just got it. And he was feeling a little like, why isn't everybody buying my cookbook? But it's kind of like with coaching. It's like when you start building relationships, it's not like everybody's just going to start ordering from you because you have to build that trust and, continue to talk about it and follow up and keep inviting. And so it's the same thing with anything. So
yeah, I was like a brand new coach who signed up and I'm like, hey, it's been 3 days. Like, why is not every person I know and just like bought my product? Like, what the heck's wrong with everybody? So that's like, oh yeah, like, people don't just give their money to anybody who asks for it. So, like, pace yourself, show them the book, expose it to them a few times, talk about it, drop in some little hints when it's like, hey, you're going to do all that, but here it is right here, but they'll get it.
But it's like coaching,
They'll
just
get
building the friends first.
Yeah, and then just, like, straight back to creating good content. Talked about the book a little bit today, like, done. Back to talking food science.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else before we go? Thanks for hopping on and lots of good questions. Thanks for
That was fun.
joining.
I love talking about Snapchat.
And he did another call on Snapchat too. So if you didn't watch that one, that was kind of more of a how-to one, Carolyn. So if you didn't see that one, I can post it again.
And, for people who are questionable about it as a platform, my mom, 63 years old, loves Snapchat. She loves it.
She doesn't like mine, though.
She hates Allison's Snapchat. She loves mine, obviously. And the hilarious thing is she only follows the two of us. She doesn't follow anybody else. She doesn't see anybody else's story. And she's, like, obsessed with it. She makes her own little stories every day and, like, makes the little daily stories. And, like, I have so many friends. I don't know.
You're the only one who sees it.
I don't see them. I don't even see them all the time. Like, because she's so inconsistent. I don't think, like, hey, look for mom's story today. Because it gets lost in the shuffle, right? Because they go all the top. So, like, but she doesn't care.
I'm gonna have to, like, step up my Snapchat game. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, so it's really fun. I think that, when an older demographic, our parents figure out more how to use it because you can video call, you can Skype call from your phone, like FaceTime. Anybody, any phone can now FaceTime with Snapchat over the internet. So now I can FaceTime my mom on her iPhone with my Android phone, and now we can talk on video. She loves it. So I think stuff like that, and like saying now all your customers that you're talking to on Snapchat, you don't need their phone numbers. You can call them from Snapchat. You can literally make a phone call from Snapchat that will make their phone ring. So, like, it's all right there, the communication, the back and forth for your family, your friends. Like,
it's fun with challengers, too, because I see a lot of their workout pictures and pets and, like, funny, goofy cooking videos. Like, it's fun to connect with them more, too.
It's cool. And I think it's that one-on-one that makes Snapchat special. So, like, that's the big thing is, like, make sure that you're making one-on-one connections with people. You're talking to people. Like, that's why people are on it. So that's how you can take advantage of this platform.
Woohoo. All right, let's go snap. I'm going to go snap and say that I'm terrible at snapping. But I'm going to get better. So, cool. All right, well, thank you guys for joining. This was a lot of fun. And
Thanks, AJ. That was awesome.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you guys liked it. Ask me any questions,
Yeah, thank you.
snap any questions. I'll send you videos back. But next week we'll be back at 8 o'clock for our monthly planning call, and then I'll be posting the schedule soon. So have a good night, you guys.